same voice. Eh?
Might be chanda, yes.
Okay. First of all, we need to. Okay, okay. No, it moves, it doesn't move there.
I want to guess.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There's a few slides about Dawah. Definition. Dawah is taking the message of Islam to Muslims and non-Muslims. Please remember this. Dawah is to both Muslims and non-Muslims. You know? And it's just communication. Dawah is communication. And it has got 4 elements. There is the caller, the one giving da'wah, the call, the one who is the target, the message, what you give them, and after that we expect a change in behavior. For the Muslim, he will change his behavior. For the non-Muslim also, they change their behavior. Maybe they are very hostile to Islam, now they become a little bit less hostile. Now, it's not our job actually to convert people. Allah converts them. Our job is to convey the message, let people understand, and in the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But even if people do not actually become Muslims, we have succeeded because you may find somebody who hated Islam and Muslims. Now they don't hate Islam and Muslims that much. Someone who did not understand Islam and Muslims, now they understand them better, they can be their friends. The actual conversion occurs on its own. It takes its time. Some people convert culturally. They just start behaving like Muslims, eating like Muslims, dressing like Muslims. Some people convert intellectually. They think that our Quran is the correct message. Some people convert spiritually. They want to make salah, make dhikr. So there are many forms, but we need to understand. We don't want the president of MSA to say, or brother Amin Bey to say, we have done da'wah for 3 years and only we converted 1. We're not succeeding. No, you are succeeding because your aim is the conveying the message, the communication. Whether there is a conversion or not, that's beyond you. It's in the hands of Allah, it's in the hands of the people called. Also in America, there are many people, they never converted to Islam. But when it's Ramadan, they pray with us. I mean, Ramadan, they make psalm with us. They don't pray in public, but when you are somewhere at a meeting, they disappear during Dawah. And then they come back. So there are many Muslims, because of their job, their position, they do not want to say they are Muslim. Yeah. So our aim is to succeed in conveying the message. Now, the basis of all da'wah is tawheed. The concept that there is only one God, creator of the whole universe, is where all Tawheed starts. Now this is a problem in East Asia, where you have got Buddhism, which doesn't have some branches of Buddhism. There's no concept of God. Also Confucianism, Taoism, there is no concept of the God that we have in Islam. Japan, Shintoism, maybe many gods. So Tawheed in the Asian environment, I think we need to bring it later, not at the beginning. Because there is nothing corresponding to it. If you are talking to Christians, it's very easy. They already know God. But in this society, once you start God and there is only one God, it's very complicated. Now, Quran is the main tool of our da'wah, really. Which means Quran is general principles. Quran doesn't go into details. Hadith goes into details. So when we are doing da'wah, we talk about the main principles. Don't go into details. You will confuse people. Start with the main ideas. That is why the Prophet ﷺ, he spent 13 years in Mecca. He never taught Sharia. In Mecca, they were not taught the details of Salah, the details of Saum, the details of Hajj. All of this came in the Medinan era because they were concentrating on the main principles. Now, when there is da'wah, it means the community is dynamic. Islam is a missionary religion. We are a missionary religion. Whenever we are dynamic, we make da'wah. When we are asleep, we don't make da'wah. So da'wah is an indication of how dynamic the community is. And it's an obligation of everybody, called Fardu Kifaya. It's a collective obligation. If some people do it, okay. Not everybody must do da'wah. And we need da'wah in all places and all times. All the time. You may ask this question: how can I do da'wah in all places and all times? The most effective da'wah is actually your behavior. The way you behave. In fact, if only you behave as a good person, it's enough. Then people will ask about your religion. So all of us are doing da'wah. It's not only a few people who talk and give lectures, but our behavior is the best da'wah. Sayyidina Aisha, talking about the Prophet, she said, Kana Qur'an al-Mashiyan. He said that the Prophet ﷺ was like a Qur'an walking on the street. It means his behavior, his character is Islam. So if only each one of us in our behavior we reflect the Islamic manners, you don't need to speak. Yeah. And for our Korean brothers who come to Islam, the very effective way is that your father and your mother see you as a better son. Before you respected them. After you become a Muslim, you respect them more. You serve them more. Your brothers, if they feel that since you became a Muslim, you are more cooperative, you visit them more, you call them more, then they say this is a good religion. Yeah? So really it is our behavior that is the most important part of da'wah. Now we need to understand that da'wah is at various levels. We need to know we are working. The first level is just to get somebody to say the word kalima. Kalima means la ilaha illallah. Yes, somebody to say there is only one God. And Muhammad Rasulullah. This is the first level. The second level is to get an individual and the family to live Islam. The third level is to spread this Islamic culture in the whole society. So here in Korea, we are working at the first level and also at the second level. But it is sometimes possible to work at the second level before the first level. It's possible that you can get someone to live as a Muslim, behave as a Muslim, before they actually intellectually accept the kalima. Yeah. And this happens because, like in Europe, Muslim students live with non-Muslim students. They just live with them, eat with them, stay in the same place, play with them. Each time for Salah, they go together. Time for Ramadan, they go together. So they just get into the culture of Islam without actually one day sitting down and say, I have accepted Islam. So it is possible to have second level without the first level. Also, it is possible to have someone come into Islam without first or second level. Intellectually, there are some people, they read Quran and they know this book must be correct. Intellectually. But they drink. They do everything. They say this book is correct, I'm a Muslim. But he doesn't do anything else about Islam. But in his mind, he knows that he is a Muslim and this book is correct. Like when you read the Quran, you remember عبس وتولى أن جاءه الأعمى. The Quran was, the word condemning the Prophet, blaming the Prophet, because there was a blind man who came to him and he turned away from him. So, who gave us the Quran? Muhammad is the one who told us that Quran is like this. So some people, when they read this, say, this must be a correct book. Because the Prophet, ﷺ, if he wasn't a true prophet, he would hide that verse. You don't go and tell people that Quran says this about me if it is bad. So by finding it in the book, they say this book must be correct. This prophet must be true. Because if he was not true, he will hide this verse, he will not tell us. So some people can convert intellectually. They don't pray, they drink, but intellectually they are converted to Islam. So we need to understand people come in various ways and we have to be very tolerant. Someone may say intellectually converted, but he doesn't do anything else. Someone may be culturally converted. He eats, behaves like a Muslim, even prays Salah, without saying the kalima or understand what the kalima is. Okay? There are some people who even believe that, Islamic teaching should run society. Some are convinced. Like the issue in the economy. What you call zero interest, we should not take interest. Some people are convinced that the Islamic approach is correct. Some people now are convinced that separating men from women is correct. Like in Germany, you have got taxes for women, taxes for men. Okay, and many other countries. So people can accept Islamic ideas and concepts in the society without saying that they are Muslim. So we need to understand the various levels and how people come. Okay. Now we go to the next one. I want to talk about the caller. Caller means the one communicating. The Prophet is the best example. Okay? So, his behavior, patience, humility, mercy, and really, if you want to do da'wah, just read the history of the Prophet. Do as he did, finish. You don't need this lecture. He is a good example of how to make da'wah. Now, there are certain personality characteristics you must have. You must be patient. You must be wise. You need to know what to say. Don't say the wrong word in the wrong place. Okay? Now, when you are talking about dressing, to non-Muslims, if they are wearing, a mini skirt, don't talk about dressing in Islam. It's the wrong place to say it. Eh? If they're eating pork, in a restaurant, don't talk about food. You need to have iman, knowledge, kindness, fairness, all of these things. Okay? Who else? Now, if you want to be more persuasive, to be able to persuade people, people must know that you are honest. It's very important. Remember, sometimes the Koreans you talk to about Islam, they remember in the last test, you did something not right. You cheated in the exam. They saw you. So when you come and tell them about Islam, or maybe you had a project to do to submit to the professor in the Korean language. You are studying Korean. So you ask your Korean friend to write it for you. She writes it for you and you take it to the professor. Then after 1 month, you say, I want to invite you to Islam. They don't believe you. They don't believe you. And also part of this honesty is you must have a good memory. Because as we talk, we tell people things. I come from Egypt, my father is a millionaire. I got a big villa by the Mediterranean. Then another time you forget. I have got financial problems, my father didn't have money to send me. Can you help me with some money?
Bankrupted. Bankrupted.
Yeah. Then he will know that you are not honest. Because you forget what you say from time to time. Sometimes that you may be dishonest not because you are dishonest, but because of circumstances. You may be with your Korean friend and somebody asks you a question. You don't want him to know some information. Okay? Because it affects your security. Then another time, someone asks the same question, you answer, and the Korean is there. So they know you don't tell the truth. So when you tell them, Quran says, how do I know? Yeah. So honesty, being perceived as honest is very important. If you remember, the Prophet ﷺ, when he was made a prophet in Mecca, the first thing he did is to collect all the Quraysh, all the people of Mecca. They all came. And he stood up and said, you people, have I ever told you a lie? They said, no. We know Anta Sadiqul Amin. We know that for the last 40 years, you were honest and you tell the truth. He told them, if I tell you that an army soldiers are coming from behind the mountain to attack Mecca, will you believe me? They said, of course we'll believe you. You have never told a lie. Then he said, now, I want to tell you I'm a messenger from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because they said, no, we don't believe that. But remember, he appealed to his honesty. You know I am honest, I don't tell lies. So you should believe me. So the same way, just make sure that before you call Koreans to Islam, they know you as being an honest person. Now, personal power, being attractive is good, likable, similarity to the call. The gender is also important. Men talk with men, women talk to women, and credibility. You don't have to be perfect. This is another thing. Don't say, you don't pray all the salah. You miss some salah. You commit a few small sins. No problem. You can make da'wah. Actually, it is good to make da'wah. Because you know what? It makes you better. Because you have to live up to the expectations. Because you talk to people that you see, as a Muslim, you should pray. You should not drink. You shouldn't do this. But you do some of that sometimes. But because you told other people, you also improve because you are afraid. Suppose they see me, and I told them. So it is very good to make da'wah because it makes you better. But don't wait until you are perfect. No. You don't have to be a perfect Muslim. Whatever little you know, you will tell other people. Yeah. And you need some training how to do da'wah. So we need to have some programs how to do da'wah. Okay. Any questions so far? Are we together?
Yes.
You follow me? Okay. Yes.
Short question. So, the first slide you talk about the first of Tawheed is the only word, La ilaha illallah. I think not word, because I think
Kalima.
Yeah, kalima. Not kalima. Not. I must believe this word by
Yes.
my heart and my brain,
Yes.
and no shirk and no kafir for
Yes.
this word, and also we must follow our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. This statement, statement is the summary of all Islam.
Yes. So you must say it and also believe it. And also work according to its requirements. Yeah. But it is enough to say it. I mean, if someone on the street says, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, he's a Muslim. According to us. We don't know what is inside. Does he believe or not believe? Does he understand? If he says it, we take it. We don't question. But we know that yes, it must be based on understanding. But when they say they are Muslims, just saying it is enough. Okay. Who is called in Dawah? We call everybody, as I said, Muslims, non-Muslims, all races, all nationalities, all social classes, everywhere. Now, for Muslims, Dawah is to ask them to practice Islam. To non-Muslims, is actually to give them the truth and positives of Islam. Also correcting disinformation by the enemies. You know? It's the main idea. You see, we are not after converting people to Islam. We want people to understand the truth. Then they will make a decision to convert. You see, because Islam is the natural state. Our belief is, if somebody has got correct information, and there's no disinformation, they will become Muslims. It's a matter of time. So we don't need to push them to become Muslim. Just make sure we give the correct information. Now, so we would also, in our da'wah, target special groups instead of everybody. Women have been the most, success has been most with the women groups all over the world. More Muslims convert Islam than, more women, convert Islam than men all over the world. What do you think is the reason?
Women population is bigger than
There are more women than men here.
Because they find justice in Islam.
Eh?
They find justice in Islam.
Justice in Islam, yes.
Give more time to listen.
They have more time to listen. Yeah, all of these are correct. But it is true in America and Europe, more Muslim women, there are more Muslim women who are converting than the men. Also because the women suffer more from social problems. Because they are the ones who have got children and the family. See, the men, they have the problems, but maybe they don't care. So women look more for solution, and they may find it in Islam. You may target youths, young people. Patients in hospitals are very good group because in the hospital they will listen. They're not going anywhere. Yes, they can listen. Prisoners also. I used to work in prisons in the US in Dawah. Prisoners also, because they're in the prison, they have nothing to do. They will come and listen to you. You know, nothing to do. They listen to you. Also, it is an opportunity for them to get out of the cell. You know, they have to lock them out. But if there is a lecture, they let them out. So, students, laborers and workers. The laborers and workers, especially the foreign ones, they are lonely, they are meeting problems, they have stress. So they are more likely to listen. Now, but these are groups, all these groups are people with problems, weakness, but they're strong ones. Artists, for example, we can target artists, people who draw and make architectures. You can talk about architecture in Islam. Art in Islam. It's because art in Islam is very abstract, very intellectual. So an artist should talk, it will capture him. The stars, the movie stars also convert very easily to Islam. Because these actors, their life is empty. For you, you think they're very happy, but they're not happy people. You think they're so popular, they have got so many fans, but the inside is empty. They have to take drugs to survive. So by just explain to them what this earth is nothing, materialism, spiritualism, quickly the actors, musicians, many actually in America, many stars are Muslim, even secretly. Yeah. Because when they find out they are Muslim, maybe they don't leave. Yeah, true. Yeah, they have died, many of them. Aristocrats. Aristocrats also can be attracted to Islam. Because aristocrats, these are rich people, they have everything. They are looking for something new, something special. They are willing to listen. Professionals and ordinary people. The marginalized. People who are, hated by society, like criminals, drug addicts, social deprived. These are looking for something to take them out of their bad situation. So, in Dawah, we need also to target, not just everybody. We need to target those who are more likely to accept. Now, strategies of Dawah. Aggressive and proactive strategies are better. Aggressively, I don't mean you fight them. But it means I just present my message. I say Islam is this, and this, and I think it's good because of this and this. Just present your message. Don't be defensive. Don't start and say, look, I come to talk to you about Islam, but first of all, I want to make it clear I'm not Taliban. I'm not Daesh. I'm not Qaeda. No. You just say what you want and be proactive. You don't have to be reactive. You don't have to apologize and no. Because I know I have got something good. I want to share it with you. That's the best approach. Now, we need to have faith in gradualism. We need to go slowly. Don't present the whole thing. Slowly. When they learn this, you tell them more. There is a hadith of the Prophet when he sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal to Yemen. He asked him, how will you teach people? He said, I will teach them La ilaha illallah. Okay. If they accept that, I'll teach them Salah. If they accept that, I will teach them about Sawm. If they accept that, teach them about Hajj. So we have to be gradual. Don't just come and give all. It causes confusion. Remember, influence is the best. Influence is the best. Huh? We should not give them materials things. We should not pay people to come to Islam. No. Nothing. No gifts, nothing. Because when you don't have gifts, they go ill. But if the gift can make them come to listen, yes, we can do. like we can have a meal, provide a free meal, not because we say, look, come become Muslim and eat. No. We want them, because when they come to eat, we'll get a chance to talk to them. We should never, give them something for becoming Muslim. It doesn't work. Now, we need to be wise, polite, non-antagonist. Don't attack people. Don't criticize people. Just give the Islamic alternative. Say nothing about Korean culture. Nothing. Don't criticize it. If you find something good in it, say it. If it is the same as Islam. Something not good, don't criticize. We don't want to antagonize anybody. We just want to present our message. That's all. Okay? Now, that may be direct. You talk to somebody directly or indirect. Many of the indirect ways you can use internet and all the technology that should be. But direct is always better. When you interact with somebody face to face, it's better. And please don't behave like Jehovah's Witnesses or missionaries. Don't insist. If somebody doesn't want to talk to you, just go away. Yeah, don't go away. Because remember, we are not after increasing the number of Muslims. No. We have 1.5 billion. Our job is to convey the message, give people the benefit to learn about Islam and maybe accept it. So we don't have that aggressiveness that, we make people annoyed and we push them, and when they are walking, we stop them. No, we don't have to. If somebody is not interested, leave them. Now, this practical, I'm not going to go over this. This is exactly how to plan and execute and evaluate the Dawah program. Since you have this slide, it's very straightforward. You can do it on your own.
We thank Dr. Omar for his precious presentation. We'll start our discussion groups in 5 minutes time. So